Now available in paperback and e-readers. Easteen, Little Girl Lost. The devilish diva helps a lost little girl find her way home in this devilishly funny Easteen series adventure. Get Easteen, Little Girl Lost in paperback and e-readers today. I was taking a more critical look at Grey's Anatomy star Jesse Williams and his divorce. And as I took a more critical look at your Jesse Williams and his divorce, I began to take a look at the timeline for the events that led up to that divorce. And as I looked at the timeline leading up to that series of events that led up to his divorce, I clearly saw how unethical this Jesse Williams was and how disingenuous this Negro truly is. Now, if we look at the timeline critically, we see that in June of 2016, your Jesse Williams was given a humanitarian award at the BET Minstrel Awards. However, when we look at reports in numerous articles such as People and TMZ, they tell us that Jesse Williams was separated from his wife for over a year. So when Jesse Williams got up on that stage to make that speech about black women being magic and talked about all those issues in the black community, he wasn't with his black wife. In fact, all he was doing was making that speech to try to pander to black audiences. So we clearly see a pattern and a practice of this Jesse Williams being dishonest and disingenuous from the first minute he marched up on that stage. Unfortunately, you couldn't tell many of these Afro-American Negroes this because they were too spellbound by those crystal blue eyes and mesmerized by that light, milky skin and that silken hair of his to see that this Afro-American Negro huckster was running a game on them and getting ready to pimp them in the same way many others have exploited them over the years. And your Jesse Williams was pretty much being propped up by Hollywood to be the next Barack Obama, because I look at the way they were getting ready to set Jesse Williams up as the exact same pattern that they used with your Barack Obama. This man who is said to be a part of the community comes out and wins this award, makes this speech, and makes it appear that he's self-aware, when in actuality he has shown that he really doesn't care about the black community based on his actions. Unfortunately, too many Afro-American Negroes were spellbound by those crystal blue eyes and that light skin to see past the veneer that your Jesse Williams had methodically set up over a couple of years. Now, your Jesse Williams was this guy from the suburbs from a white mother and a black father, and he was looking to get some street cred for himself. So he came down to the black community, married a black woman, had two children with this black woman as he was working as a teacher, got his acting career pretty much set up by Shonda Rhimes in the show Grey's Anatomy, and then this was used to give him this BET award and springboard him up to a higher platform. Unfortunately, many black folks are too emotional to understand how Hollywood works or how Hollywood operates. Now, as a guy who pretty much has been a screenwriter and a guy who studied the entertainment industry for over 25 years, I understand how Hollywood works and how Hollywood makes efforts to give people pushes. And your average award is nothing more than a popularity contest. These award shows like the BET Awards, the Emmys, the Oscars, they're all designed to give a star a push. And when they gave Jesse Williams that humanitarian award, that was all about giving Jesse Williams a push in a direction towards a higher platform. And they wanted to do that to pretty much push a narrative and push an agenda in the black community. So they took this Jesse Williams, who pretty much had the veneer that they wanted and fit the story that they wanted, and they wanted to give him a big push towards further stardom. So they give him this award, he makes this speech, and he makes efforts to make it look like he's appealing to the black community. Unfortunately, the black community couldn't see how disingenuous this Jesse Williams was towards them, because this guy, pretty much as he was making this speech about his black wife and how much he loved black women, was not with his black wife or about black women from the day he sat there on that stage making that speech. And we watched over the course of a year this guy's disingenuous actions. And I made a video about that, talking about how we didn't see your Jesse Williams dealing with the police shootings of Alton Sterling, Philando Castile, or Keith Scott, or many others who were shot and killed by police. He was there for the big events like your Ferguson or your Baltimore, and he was at that 2016 presidential campaign talking about Ivanka Trump, but he couldn't be found to deal with many of the other police shootings in the black community. As I said before, after he got his street cred, this guy was on his way. And when he went out talking at the presidential campaign about Ivanka Trump, then we saw him because he was trying to push himself further up that higher platform. And this divorce was meant to push him a little further in the press, but all he's done is shown that he's truly the sellout from the jump, because here is this guy who said, I'm all about black women, but he's separated from his wife, and now he's pursuing a relationship with this Minka Kelly. And when I take a look at that picture, it also shows how dysfunctional your Jesse Williams truly is. He's going to walk away from his black wife and his children for a female, white female, who has pretty much been run through by guys like Derek Jeter and may possibly have herpes, because your Derek Jeter is rumored to have been part of a circle of people who were part of a circle that had herpes. So it really shows me how dysfunctional your Jesse Williams is, and how many of these Negro males are dysfunctional regarding, white women, that they will walk away from a black wife who was disease free to be with a white woman who may possibly have venereal disease. It shows me how spellbound the Negro is regarding white women. And I look at this Jesse Williams, and again, he's the textbook case of a disingenuous Negro who goes out here looking to exploit the black community. And what's really sad about the whole Jesse Williams thing is that the Afro-American Negro, couldn't connect the dots regarding this Jesse Williams and see the same play being run on them that Barack Obama used and that Jeremy Meeks used to elevate themselves to a higher level at their expense. I mean, it's sad that the Afro-American Negro continues to fall for the same Okie Dokes again and again, that all they need to do is dress up a light-skinned pretty boy, put him up on a stage, and the Negroes get spellbound and mesmerized by those crystal blue eyes and believe anything that this Afro-American Negro says without trying to run it through a critical filter. Many of these same people who were praising Jesse Williams were the same ones who attacked me for trying to present the facts regarding this guy. And when you look at the facts, you clearly see that this guy was unethical, disingenuous, and pretty much was taking advantage of black women by appealing to their deification of white men and their worship of white men and their lust for wanting to be close to someone who was as close to white as possible. And that's really what is egregious about Hollywood and Jesse Williams. They were pretty much looking to get ahead at this Negro's expense and push a narrative towards them, breathing with the same old stereotypes that white liberals have used over the years. And sadly, so many black people never got to understand what was going on with this Jesse Williams, because they pretty much got emotional about his light skin instead of taking the time to use the critical thinking skills to take a longer, harder examination of this Jesse Williams to see the fraud that he truly was. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.